Picture this. You walk into a room, and without saying a word, people notice you. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, not because you're putting on an act, but because there's something fundamentally different about your energy. Women sense it. Men respect it. You've become what the ancient Stoics called the sage, a man who has mastered himself and, in doing so, has become naturally magnetic. Today, I'm going to reveal the psychological principles and time-tested strategies that separate men who chase from men who are chased, men who beg for attention from men who command respect, and men who live in scarcity from men who operate from abundance. What I'm about to share with you isn't pickup artistry or manipulation tactics. This is deeper. This is about becoming the kind of man that naturally attracts not just romantic partners, but opportunities, friendships, and success in every area of life. The research from evolutionary psychology, combined with ancient Stoic wisdom and modern understanding of human behavior, reveals a blueprint that most men never discover. But you're about to. The foundation of authentic attraction begins with what psychologist Robert Cialdini calls social proof, but not in the way most men think. It's not about showing off your possessions or achievements. That's actually repulsive to high-quality women. True social proof comes from your internal state, your self-respect, and your ability to remain centered regardless of external circumstances. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This isn't just philosophical wisdom. It's the cornerstone of magnetic masculinity. When you understand that your worth isn't determined by anyone else's approval, something profound shifts in your energy. Women who are naturally more intuitive and emotionally intelligent than men pick up on this immediately. They can sense desperation from a mile away, but they're equally drawn to genuine confidence like moths to a flame. This is why the neediest men often repel the very women they desire most, while men who are genuinely content with themselves seem to effortlessly attract attention. The key lies in what psychologists call internal locus of control. Men who possess this trait believe that they are the primary architects of their own destiny. They don't blame circumstances, other people, or bad luck for their problems. Instead, they focus on what they can control: their actions, their responses, their personal development. This mindset is incredibly attractive because it signals to others that you're a problem solver, a leader, someone who takes responsibility for your life. But here's where most men get it wrong. They think confidence means being loud, aggressive, or constantly proving themselves. Real confidence is quiet. It's the ability to remain calm under pressure, to listen more than you speak, to be comfortable with silence. When you're truly confident, you don't need to fill every moment with words or impress everyone with your accomplishments. You become comfortable with who you are, flaws and all. This brings us to the concept of outcome independence, a principle that's revolutionized how successful men approach not just dating, but all areas of life. Outcome independence means you're genuinely okay with any result. If a woman is interested in you, great. If she's not, that's fine too. This isn't about pretending not to care. It's about genuinely being so fulfilled by your own life that another person's approval isn't necessary for your happiness. The paradox is that the less you need someone's approval, the more likely you are to receive it. This happens because desperation and neediness trigger what evolutionary psychologists call mate-guarding anxiety, the unconscious fear that someone who needs you too much might become possessive, jealous, or dependent. Women instinctively avoid men who seem like they would become overly attached too quickly because it signals potential emotional instability. Now, let's talk about the practical application of these principles. The first step is developing what I call mission-centered living. Every attractive man has something he's passionate about that's bigger than any individual relationship. It might be building a business, mastering a craft, contributing to his community, or pursuing personal excellence. This mission becomes his primary focus, and relationships, while important, are secondary. When you're genuinely passionate about something meaningful, you naturally become more interesting. You have stories to tell, experiences to share, and a sense of purpose that others find compelling. Women are attracted to men who are going somewhere, who have direction, who are building something significant with their lives. This doesn't mean you need to be a millionaire or a celebrity. It means you need to be engaged with life in a meaningful way. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus taught that we should focus only on what is up to us: our judgments, our actions, our responses. Everything else, including how others perceive us, is ultimately beyond our control. When you internalize this wisdom, you stop trying to manage other people's opinions and start focusing on becoming the best version of yourself. This shift in focus is magnetic because it demonstrates emotional maturity and inner strength. Physical fitness plays a crucial role in this transformation, but not for the reasons most men assume. Yes, being in good shape makes you more physically attractive, but the real benefit is psychological. Regular exercise, especially challenging forms like weightlifting or martial arts, builds mental resilience, discipline, and confidence. It teaches you that you can push through discomfort, that you can improve through consistent effort, that you have the power to transform yourself. The discipline required to maintain physical fitness spills over into other areas of your life. You become more reliable, more focused, more capable of delayed gratification. These qualities are incredibly attractive because they signal that you're the kind of man who can be depended upon, who finishes what he starts, who has the self-control to make difficult decisions. But physical attractiveness is just one component of a much larger picture. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your own emotions while being attuned to others' emotional states, is equally important. Men who are emotionally intelligent don't react impulsively to criticism or rejection. They don't take things personally. They can remain calm and centered even in challenging social situations. This emotional stability is incredibly attractive because it creates a sense of safety for others. Women, in particular, are drawn to men who make them feel emotionally secure. This doesn't mean being emotionally unavailable or suppressing your feelings. It means being able to experience emotions without being controlled by them. You can feel disappointed without becoming bitter, angry without becoming destructive, or excited without becoming manic. The ability to maintain your emotional equilibrium also allows you to be genuinely present with others. Instead of being caught up in your own insecurities or agenda, you can actually listen to what someone is saying, respond thoughtfully, and create genuine connection. This presence is rare in our distracted, smartphone-obsessed culture, which makes it even more valuable. Communication skills are another crucial element of magnetic masculinity. But this isn't about learning pickup lines or manipulation techniques. It's about becoming genuinely interesting and interested. Interesting people have diverse experiences, varied knowledge, and unique perspectives. They read books, travel when possible, try new things, engage with different types of people, and continuously expand their understanding of the world. But being interesting isn't enough. You also need to be interested. People are drawn to those who make them feel heard and understood. This means asking thoughtful questions, listening to the answers, and engaging with what others are sharing. It means being curious about people's experiences, dreams, and perspectives. When you're genuinely interested in others, they feel valued and appreciated, which creates positive associations with being around you. The ancient Stoics emphasized the importance of virtue, wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These aren't just abstract ideals. They're practical qualities that make you more attractive as a person. Wisdom involves making good decisions, learning from mistakes, and understanding the complexity of life. Justice means treating others fairly and standing up for what's right. Courage involves facing challenges head-on and taking calculated risks. Temperance is about self-control and moderation. Men who embody these virtues naturally command respect because they operate from a foundation of integrity. They're trustworthy, reliable, and principled. They don't compromise their values for short-term gains or approval. This consistency and reliability are incredibly attractive because they create predictability and security in relationships. Financial stability is another important factor, but again, not for the obvious reasons. It's not about having expensive cars or designer clothes to impress others. Financial stability is attractive because it demonstrates competence, planning ability, and self-discipline. It shows that you can manage resources effectively, think long-term, and handle responsibility. These are leadership qualities that signal your ability to contribute to a partnership and potentially a family. But perhaps the most important quality of magnetically attractive men is their relationship with failure and rejection. Instead of being devastated by setbacks, they view them as learning opportunities. They understand that failure is an inevitable part of growth and that rejection is often more about compatibility than personal worth. This resilience allows them to take appropriate risks, pursue opportunities, and maintain their confidence even when things don't go as planned. When you're not afraid of failure, you become more willing to be vulnerable, to try new things, to express your authentic self. This authenticity is incredibly attractive because it's rare. Most people are so concerned with maintaining their image that they never reveal their true personality. When you're comfortable with who you are, including your imperfections, you give others permission to be authentic as well. The concept of pre-selection in evolutionary psychology suggests that people are more attracted to those who are already desired by others. But this doesn't mean you need to play games or create artificial scarcity. It means developing the qualities that naturally make you desirable: confidence, competence, emotional stability, purpose, integrity. When you possess these qualities, you naturally attract positive attention from various people, which creates genuine social proof. This is why personal development is so crucial. Every skill you develop, every challenge you overcome, every fear you face adds to your overall attractiveness as a person. Learning a new language, mastering a musical instrument, developing professional expertise, improving your cooking skills, or any other form of self-improvement makes you more interesting and capable. The journey of becoming magnetically attractive is ultimately about becoming the best version of yourself, not to impress others, but because you owe it to yourself to reach your full potential. When you're genuinely committed to personal growth, when you're building a life you're proud of, when you're becoming someone you respect, others naturally want to be part of that journey. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires patience, consistency, and commitment to the process rather than immediate results. But as you develop these qualities, confidence, emotional intelligence, physical fitness, communication skills, virtue, competence, resilience, and authenticity, you'll notice that your entire life begins to improve. You'll attract better relationships, more opportunities, and greater success in all areas. The magnetic man doesn't chase anyone because he doesn't need to. He's too busy building an amazing life, developing himself, and pursuing his mission. Others are naturally drawn to his energy, his purpose, and his authenticity. He becomes the kind of person that others want to be around, not because he's trying to impress them, but because he's genuinely impressive through his commitment to excellence and personal growth. The transformation into magnetic masculinity also requires understanding the psychological concept of social calibration without becoming a people pleaser. Social calibration means being aware of social dynamics and adjusting your behavior appropriately while maintaining your core identity. This is different from changing who you are to fit in. It's about expressing your authentic self in ways that create positive interactions with others. For example, being confident doesn't mean being arrogant or insensitive to others' feelings. A magnetically attractive man can read the room, understand when humor is appropriate and when seriousness is needed, and adjust his communication style while never compromising his values or authenticity. This emotional and social intelligence makes others comfortable around him because they know he's not going to create awkward or inappropriate situations. The role of mystery and intrigue cannot be understated in building attraction. But this isn't about playing games or being deliberately secretive. It's about having depth and layers to your personality that reveal themselves over time. When you have rich experiences, diverse interests, and a complex inner life, people naturally want to know more about you. You become like a fascinating book that others want to keep reading. This depth comes from living fully. Travel when you can, even if it's just exploring different neighborhoods in your city. Read books outside your comfort zone. Engage with different types of people. Challenge your assumptions and beliefs. Learn new skills not because you have to, but because you're genuinely curious about the world. These experiences create stories, perspectives, and knowledge that make conversations with you genuinely interesting. The concept of emotional leadership is crucial for magnetic men. This means being the one who sets the emotional tone in interactions and relationships. If someone is stressed, you remain calm. If someone is negative, you don't get pulled into their negativity. Instead, you maintain your positive energy and often lift them up. If someone is uncertain, your confidence helps them feel more secure. This doesn't mean suppressing your own emotions or never having bad days. It means taking responsibility for your emotional state and not making your problems everyone else's problem. When you're going through challenges, you handle them with grace and maturity. You might share your struggles with close friends or family, but you don't dump your emotional baggage on everyone you meet. Emotional leadership also involves being comfortable with conflict when necessary. Many men avoid confrontation to keep peace, but this actually makes them less attractive because it signals that they can't handle difficult situations. A magnetic man can disagree respectfully, set boundaries firmly but kindly, and stand up for himself and others when needed. He's not looking for fights, but he's not afraid of them either. The importance of having a strong social network cannot be overstated. Magnetic men don't operate in isolation. They're part of communities, they have friendships with both men and women, and they contribute positively to the lives of others. This isn't about networking for personal gain. It's about genuinely caring about others and building meaningful relationships across all areas of life. Having strong male friendships is particularly important. These relationships provide emotional support, accountability, and opportunities for growth that you simply can't get elsewhere. Men who only focus on romantic relationships often become needy and desperate because they're trying to get all their social and emotional needs met by one person. When you have a rich social life with diverse relationships, you approach romantic connections from a place of abundance rather than scarcity. Your relationship with money and material possessions also reveals a lot about your character and attractiveness. Magnetic men have a healthy relationship with money. They're not obsessed with it, but they're not irresponsible with it either. They understand that money is a tool for creating experiences, security, and opportunities to help others. They're generous when appropriate, but not wasteful or show-offy. This extends to how you treat service workers, people who can't do anything for you, and those who are less fortunate. Character is revealed in how you treat people when you have nothing to gain from the interaction. Kindness, respect, and basic human decency are incredibly attractive qualities that signal your true nature. The concept of delayed gratification is fundamental to building the kind of life that naturally attracts others. This psychological principle, famously demonstrated in the Stanford marshmallow experiments, shows that people who can resist immediate rewards for greater long-term benefits tend to be more successful in life. This applies to everything from fitness and finances to relationships and career development. In the context of attraction, delayed gratification means not settling for the first person who shows interest in you, not rushing into physical intimacy before emotional connection is established, and not compromising your standards because you're lonely or impatient. When you demonstrate that you have standards and you're willing to wait for quality, you become more desirable because you signal that you value yourself highly. This patience also applies to the process of self-improvement itself. Magnetic masculinity isn't built in a few weeks or months. It's a lifelong journey of growth and development. Men who understand this process don't get discouraged by temporary setbacks or slow progress. They're committed to the long game, which gives them a calmness and persistence that others find attractive. The power of vulnerability, when used appropriately, is another crucial element. This doesn't mean sharing your deepest fears and insecurities with everyone you meet. It means being willing to be real, to admit when you don't know something, to share appropriate struggles and challenges, and to let others see that you're human. This creates connection and trust because it shows that you're secure enough in yourself to not need to maintain a perfect image all the time. However, vulnerability must be balanced with strength. People are attracted to those who can be open and real while still being capable and reliable. It's the combination of strength and vulnerability that creates the most powerful connections, showing that you're human while demonstrating that you can handle life's challenges. Your attitude toward personal growth and learning is also incredibly attractive. Magnetic men are always improving, always learning, always seeking to become better versions of themselves. They read books, attend seminars, work with mentors, and actively seek feedback. They're not defensive about their weaknesses. Instead, they see them as opportunities for growth. This growth mindset extends to how they handle criticism and feedback. Instead of getting defensive or taking things personally, they evaluate whether the feedback is useful, thank the person for their perspective, and implement changes if appropriate. This emotional maturity is rare and highly valued in all types of relationships. The role of personal style and presentation cannot be ignored, but it goes much deeper than just wearing expensive clothes. True style is about understanding what works for your body type, lifestyle, and personality, and then consistently presenting yourself well. This doesn't mean being flashy or trendy. It means being clean, well-groomed, and appropriately dressed for different situations. More importantly, your personal style should reflect your authentic self. If you're naturally more casual and laid back, trying to dress like a corporate executive will come across as inauthentic. If you're more formal and traditional, trying to dress like a rock star will seem like you're playing a character. The key is understanding who you are and expressing that through your appearance in the most attractive way possible. Physical posture and body language communicate more about you than words ever could. Magnetic men carry themselves with confidence. They stand tall, make appropriate eye contact, use open body language, and move with purpose. This isn't about intimidating others or taking up too much space. It's about being comfortable in your own skin and not apologizing for existing. Good posture alone can dramatically change how others perceive you and how you feel about yourself. When you stand tall with your shoulders back and your head up, you not only look more confident, you actually feel more confident due to the mind-body connection. This creates a positive feedback loop where better posture leads to better feelings, which leads to better interactions, which reinforces the positive posture. The way you handle stress and pressure reveals a lot about your character and attractiveness. Life inevitably presents challenges, conflicts, and difficult situations. Magnetic men don't crumble under pressure. They remain calm, think clearly, and take appropriate action. They don't blame others, make excuses, or become overwhelmed by circumstances beyond their control. This grace under pressure is developed through experience and practice. Every challenge you face and overcome builds your resilience and confidence. Every time you handle a difficult situation well, you prove to yourself and others that you can be counted on when things get tough. This reliability and steadiness are incredibly attractive qualities that make others want you in their lives. Your relationship with your own past, including mistakes and failures, also plays a crucial role in your attractiveness. Magnetic men don't hide from their past or pretend to be perfect. They acknowledge their mistakes, take responsibility for them, and demonstrate how they've learned and grown from these experiences. This maturity and self-awareness are far more attractive than trying to maintain a facade of perfection. The ability to forgive yourself for past mistakes while still taking responsibility for them shows emotional intelligence and personal growth. It also allows you to forgive others for their imperfections, which makes you easier to be around and creates deeper, more authentic relationships. Finally, the most magnetic men understand that true attractiveness comes from contribution, making other people's lives better through your presence. This might mean being supportive during difficult times, bringing humor and lightness to serious situations, offering useful advice when asked, or simply being a good listener when someone needs to be heard. When your focus shifts from "what can I get from others" to "what can I give to others," everything changes. You become the kind of person that others seek out, not because you're trying to impress them, but because being around you genuinely improves their experience of life. This is the ultimate form of attraction, becoming so valuable as a person that others naturally want you in their lives. Remember, attraction isn't something you do to someone else. It's something you become. And when you focus on becoming the best version of yourself, using these time-tested principles from psychology, philosophy, and human behavior, you'll discover that the right people will naturally gravitate toward you. This is the path of the magnetic man, and it starts with your very next decision to invest in yourself. The journey is long, but every step forward makes you more attractive, more confident, and more fulfilled as a man. Start today, stay consistent, and watch as your entire life transforms from the inside out.